Croeso i Seremoni Graddio 2040 y Brifysgol Agored yng Nghymru. Llywydd y seremoni yw'r athro Belinda Tynan, dirprwy is-ganghellor, dysgu ac addysgu. Welcome to the 2014 degree ceremony of the Open University in Wales. The ceremony is presided over by Professor Belinda Tynan, Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Learning and Teaching.
Welcome to the 2014 degree ceremony for the Open University of Wales. By the authority given in the statutes of the Open University, I declare this congregation open for the conferment of degrees and the presentation of graduates. Distinguished guests, graduates, and friends of the university, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to the 7th of the Open University's degree ceremonies being held this year. We are delighted to welcome Mr. David Melding, the Deputy Presiding Officer of the National Assembly for Wales, who has found time in his very busy diary to be with us this afternoon. It is also my great pleasure to welcome our Honorary Graduate, Mr. Steve Eaves. We are delighted to be able to honour him today as well. Each year, the Open University awards over 14,000 degrees, and throughout 2014, more than 7,000 of the graduates are being presented for their qualifications at degree ceremonies such as this one today in Cardiff. These are being held in 13 different towns and cities throughout the UK, as well as in Dublin, in Versailles, and in other places as far apart as Moscow, Bucharest, and Addis Ababa. This illustrates the extraordinary scale, scope, and reach of the Open University, underlining the fact that today you are joining a worldwide community of graduates. It goes without saying that today is a very important occasion in the life of you, our graduates, your families and loved ones, as well as the university staff, who I hope you will feel have nurtured and supported you. You could be forgiven for feeling that the occasion is so important that it needs to be solemn. You'd be quite wrong. In every sense, this is a day of celebration. So we will be very disappointed if anyone crosses the stage this afternoon to anything less than thunderous applause or whatever other way you choose to express your enthusiasm and support. With that in mind, why don't all of today's graduates briefly stand and join me in expressing your thanks to all those in the audience who have helped and supported you on what must have felt at times like a long and arduous academic journey. So if you could hop up, please. It'd be lovely if you turn to your friends and your family. If you could sit down again now, thank you. So today's ceremony will begin with the presentation of those graduates who have gained a higher degree and who have been able to attend here today. They will be presented by Dr. Martin Rees, Staff Tutor in the Faculty of Education and Language Studies. We'll then see the awarding of the Honorary degree of Doctor of the University to Mr. Eaves. Mr. Rob Humphreys, Director of the Open University in Wales, will present Mr. Eaves, who will sign the Honorary Graduates book, which is over here to my right. Then we will continue our presentation of graduates with those who have gained their first degrees. To conclude the ceremony, I'll give a personal address to the graduates. I now call upon Dr. Rees to present higher degree graduates.
Dirprwy is-ganghellol, cyflwynaf yn awr y graddedigion sydd wedi derbyn graddau uwch ac sydd yn bresennol yma heddiw. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I shall now present graduates who have gained higher degrees and have been able to attend here today. Ar gyfer gradd doethur mewn athroniaeth. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, I present to you for a thesis entitled An Integrated Model for the Psychobiological Mechanism Underlying the Placebo Response Observed in the Treatment of Parkinson's Disease and Pain, Dr. Jill Hubie. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Celfyddydau mewn astudiaethau clasuriol gyda rhagoriaeth, MA in Classical Studies with Distinction, David Riley. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Celfyddydau mewn astudiaethau clasurol, MA in Classical Studies, Gwendolyn Newton. Lynn Stewart. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Celfyddydau mewn addysg MA in Education, Isabel Knockout. Jonathan Price. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Celfyddydau mewn Saesneg gyda rhagoriaeth, MA in English with Distinction, Elgan Davies. Gillian Guster. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Celfyddydau mewn Saesneg, MA in English, Peter Jenkins. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Celfyddydau mewn hanes gyda rhagoriaeth, MA in History with Distinction, Isabel Murphy. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Celfyddydau mewn hanes, MA in History, Christopher Mainwaring. Peter Phillips. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Celfyddydau mewn cerddoriaeth, MA in Music, Rebecca Horner Seddon. Sonia Meller. Lyndon Powell. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Celfyddydau mewn addysg ar-lein ac o bell, MA in Online and Distance Education, Andrew Okorofo. Francis Phillips. Ar gradd Meistr mewn Gweinyddiaeth Busnes, MBA, Suzanne Evans-Whaley. Kerry John. Elizabeth Mills. Alexei Nagayev. Reshma Reikoba. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr mewn Gweinyddiaeth Busnes, Rheolaeth a Technoleg, MBA Technology Management, Matthew Pegg. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr mewn Gweinyddiaeth Busnes ac ar gyfer gradd Baglor yn y Gweithorau gydag anrhydedd, MBA and BAc Honours in Social Sciences, dual award to Owen Jeffreys. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr mewn Addysg, M.Ed. Claire Duncan. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Gweithorau mewn Rhwydweithio Uwch, MSc in Advanced Networking, Adil Mansour. Master in Education, Gareth Parry. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Gweithorau mewn Ymarfer Gofal Iechyd Datblygedig, MSc in Advancing Healthcare Practice, Stephen Jones. Rosalind Martin. Lisa Thacker. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Gweithorau mewn Rheolaeth Datblygu, MSc in Development Management, David Gandy. Jennifer Lloyd. Helen Stoves. Sarah Worrell. Gentlemen. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Gweithorau mewn dulliau ymchwil seicolegol gyda rhagoriaeth, MSc in Psychological Research Methods with distinction, Jill Harker. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Gweithorau mewn dulliau ymchwil seicolegol, MSc in Psychological Research Methods, Kate Williams. Ar gyfer gradd Meistr yn y Gweithorau mewn Psycholeg, MSc in Psychology, Samantha Grant. Ian Harris. Gareth Henry. Yvonne Quaintrell. Last one. Ar gyfer gradd meistr yn y gwyddorau mewn meddwl systemau ar waith, MSc in Systems Thinking in Practice, Graham Turner.
Fe fyddaf yn dechrau yn Gymraeg ac yn newid wedyn rhwng Cymraeg a Saesneg. I will begin in Welsh and then switch between Welsh and English. Dirprwy isganghellor, gydwaithwyr, raddedigion a gwesteion. Heddiw, mae Brifysgol yn anrhydeddu un o'r artistiaid uchaf ei barch o fewn diwylliant gyfoes Cymraeg. Mae Steve Eaves yn ymgyffori biogrwydd diwylliant yn y iaith Gymraeg ar ddiwedd ar 20fed a dechrau 11fed ganrif ar 20. Provost Chancellor, colleagues, graduates, guests. Today, the university honours one of the most highly regarded figures from the highly eclectic Welsh musical, literary and wider cultural scenes. As a songwriter, musician and poet, Steve Eaves embodies the vibrancy of Welsh language culture in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Dechreuodd gyda Steve fel artist dros 40 o flynyddoedd yn ôl. Yn ystod y 60au a'r 70au, gweithiodd fel labrwr a cherddor yn y gogledd. Teithiodd yn eang i berfformio mewn clybiau gwerin ac fel rhan o sîn gerddoriaeth tanddaearol y cyfnod. Daeth yn rhugl yn Cymraeg pan oedd yn astudio ym Mhrifysgol Llanbed. Yna, eithi fyw ym Mhentref Rhywlas yn ardal y Chwareli ger Bethesda yn Eryri. Dechreuodd Steve wneud ei farc mewn cylchoedd llenyddol Cymraeg ar ddechrau ar 80au. Cyhoeddodd ei gyfrol gyntaf o gerddi, Noethni, a'i gasgliad cyntaf o ganeuon, Viva la Revolución Galesia. Roedd yn un o grw o faerdd oedd yn galw ei hunain yn faerdd answyddogol, oedd yn herio sefydliad barddol Cymraeg y cyfnod. Nesaf, daeth cyfrol arall o farddoniaeth, jazz yn y nos. Ond daeth yn glir cyn hir, mae y briodas rhwng geiriau a cherddoriaeth fydda yn dod â'r brimwaith i Steve. Yn 1985, cyhoeddodd gasgliad o ganeuon, gyfalaf a chyfaddawd. Ac yna, sbectol dywyll a plant pobl eraill. Roedd hyn yn gywaith gyda grŵp theatr cymunedol Baracaws. Cyrhaeddodd ei waith uchelfanna pellach gyda'r albwm Croendennau yn 1992. Fan hyn, roedd y blues Americanaidd yn gwau gyda ffurfiau jazz. Erbyn hyn, mae wedi cyhoeddi 10 albwm. Mae bob un yn dangos dawn gerddorol wych a barddoniaeth delynegol wedi ei grefftio yn hardd. Mae ei waith wedi ei drwythio mewn gonestrwydd, yn hygredydd moesol a gwledyddol. Mae o'n adegyd hefyd am ei ymrwymiad dwfn i barhad y Gymraeg fel iaith gymunedol. Mae hyn hefyd yn ganolog i'w waith fel cynllunydd iaith ac yw'r gefnogaeth barhaus i gymdeithas y iaith Gymraeg. Steve's career as an artist began well over 40 years ago. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, he worked as a labourer and musician in North Wales, travelling further afield regularly to play in the folk clubs and underground music venues of that time. He became literate in Welsh while a student at the University of Lampeter, and later settled in the village of Rhywlas in the former slate quarrying area around Bethesda in Snowdonia, where he has lived for over 35 years. Steve began to make his mark in Welsh literary circles in the early 1980s, with the publication of his first volume of poetry, Noethni, Nakedness, and the release of his first collection of songs, Viva la Revolución Gallecia, Long Live the Welsh Revolution. He was one of a group of self-styled unofficial poets who challenged the then poetic establishment in Welsh-speaking Wales. A second and equally well-received volume of poetry, Jazz yn y Nos, Jazz in the Night, was to follow. But it soon became clear that it was in the marriage of words and music that Steve was destined to achieve widest acclaim. His 1985 collection of songs, Cyfalaf a Chyfaddawd, Capitalism and Compromise, was followed by Spectol Dywyll, Dark Glasses, and Plant Pobl Eraill, Other People's Children, the latter an innovative collaboration with community theatre group Bara Caws. The 1992 album, Croesawu, Thin-Skinned, took his work to new heights. Here, the American blues that are a major influence on his work became suffused with more obvious jazz inflections. All told, he has now released some 10 albums, many recently re-released as a box set collection. Each is characterized by superb musicianship and beautifully crafted lyrics and lyricism. His work is infused by honesty and moral and political integrity. It is marked also by a deep commitment to the survival of Welsh as a community language. This is central to his day job as a highly respected practitioner in language planning and reflected in his long-standing support of Cymdeithas yr Iaith Gymraeg, the Welsh Language Society. Even among a generation of talented songwriters, Steve's lyrics stand out for their ability to engage and move his audience. His earlier work was notable for its political commitment and often contained sensitive accounts of working-class life. In more recent years, his work has taken on a more spiritual bent, with songs redolent with imagery drawn from Methodism, Catholicism, and explorations of Taoism. He has also become one of the great love poets of contemporary Welsh letters, a writer of beautifully sensuous and soulful songs exploring love and loss, longing and belonging. His most recent album, Moelyci, contains a series of stunning and deeply moving meditations on the death of his wife, Sian. A paradox of Steve's work is that he has shunned the limelight while being hugely admired by his peers in Wales and internationally in Celtic music circles. His original and engaged artistic output over many years chimes with the cultural and social missions of this university. Many would say that wider public recognition of Steve's achievements is overdue, and today the Open University is proud to play a part in putting that right. Mae geiriau Cynnaean Steve yn cysylltu gyda ac yn cyffroi ag anrhydedd. Roedd ei waith cynharach yn nodedig am ei ymrwymiad gwleidyddol. Yn aml, roedd yn cynnwys cyfeiriadau tamladwy at fywyd dosbarth gweithiol. Yn fyw diweddar, mae ei waith wedi mynd ar drywydd mwy ysbrydol, gyda delweddau o Fethodistiaeth, Catholigiaeth a Taoistiaeth. Daeth hefyd yn un o fairdd serch mawr barthoniaeth gyfroes Gymraeg. Mae yn awdur cynaion synhwrus a thaimladwy yn trafod hiraeth a pherthyn, caru a cholli. Mae albwm diweddaraf, Moelyci, yn cynnwys cyfres o fyfyrdodau a farwolaeth a'i wraig Sian. Paradox o waith Steve yw ei fod wedi osgoi sylw tra yn cael ei edmygu gan artistiaid eraill yng Nghymru ac yn rhwngwladol. Dywyd llawer ei bod yn hen bryd bod gorchestion Steve yn cael ei cydnabod yn unhengach. Heddiw, mae Brifysgol Agored yn falch o gael y cyfle i wneud hynny. Mae ei waith yn cyd-fynd a gwerthoedd diwylliannol a chymdeithasol y brifysgol hon. Provost Chancellor, by the authority of the Senate, ddirprwy isganghellwr, drwy awdurdod y Senedd, cyflwynaf i chi ar gyfer gradd doethyr y brifysgol, Steve Eaves.
Wel, diolch yn fawr iawn i chi, Madam Dirprwy Isganghellor, a Senedd y Brifysgol, a cyfarwyddwr y Brifysgol yng Nghymru. Diolch yn fawr iawn i chi am y fraint a'r anrhydedd yma. Mae yna gyfeillion agos i mi a theulu agos i mi wedi bod drwy felyn y Brifysgol Agored ac ennill graddau fel da chi wedi gwneud heddiw. Ac dwi'n ymwybodol iawn o'r gwaith calad da chi wedi gwneud i gyrraedd y pwynt yma ac yn teimlo'n wylaidd iawn yn sefyll yma o flaen llon stafell o bobl sydd wedi ymdrechu gymaint i gyrraedd y pwynt yma. Mae hefyd yn dipyn o fraint i glywed yr enwebiad gen y cyfarwyddwr sydd mewn ffordd yn cydnabod cyfraniad pwysig cerddoriaeth gyfoes Gymraeg a barddoniaeth gyfoes Gymraeg i ddiwylliant Cymru gyfan. Ac dwi'n teimlo'n falch i fod yn rhan o'r symudiad yna yn y celfyddydau. I feel very humbled to stand before you to accept this honour. I'm very honoured. The OU has special resonance for me. Close family members and friends and band members have been through the EU and, like yourselves, have worked over a number of years to reach a point where they achieved academic distinction. And I must say that I salute you all for your efforts in coming so far. Excellent, excellent. It's also of particular pleasure to me that the OU honours in this way a contribution to modern Welsh music. Before 1993, the Welsh language was suppressed in Wales for over 500 years. You could drive from North Wales to the South Wales border at the beginning of the early 60s without seeing any official Welsh on any signage. Now we take it all for granted, and it's all because of political activism of people who love and are committed to this wonderful old language. If you spin a globe, it's difficult as it slows down to pinpoint where Wales is. It's only a tiny spot on the planet. But in this tiny spot, this beautiful language is used to create reggae music and rap music and blues and jazz and beautiful, beautiful poetry. And I'm proud to belong to the group of people who are committed to creating through the medium of Welsh. And it's particularly gratifying that the OU, such a wonderful institution, has seen fit to acknowledge a contribution to contemporary music in Wales. Diolch yn fawr iawn i chi. Diolch o galon.
Ddirprwy is-ganghellor rydym yn nawr wedi cyrraedd y ran o'r seremoni heddiw, lle rydym yn cyflwyno graddedigion sydd wedi ennill gradd gyntaf ac sydd yn bresennol yma heddiw. Mae manylion llawn y testyn a'r dosbarth wedi ei hargraffu yng nghyfer lyfr y graddedigion. Pro Vice-Chancellor, we now come to the part of today's ceremony that marks the presentation of graduates who have gained a first degree and have been able to attend here today. The full subject and classification details are printed in the Directory of Graduates. Cyflwynaf i chi ar gyfer braidd baglor yn y celfyddydau gydag anrhydedd dosbarth cyntaf for BA Honours with First Class Honours, Elizabeth Cowling. Alex de Burgh. Sheila Greenwood. Susan Jeffries. Rhys Lewis. Laura Massarotto. Carol McCarthy. Nicholas Miles. Ernest Mitchell. Jane Talbot. Zoe Veal. Alwen Williams. John Williams. Okay. Ar gyfer gradd baglor yn y celfyddydau gydag anrhydedd, BA with Honours, Rachel Adkins.
Thank you very much.
Catherine Andrews. Melanie Aylward. Cheryl Baker. Lee Barber. Rachel Brown. Helen Bull. Robert Bernard. Jonathan Cox. Amy Cruz. Joe Davis. Michael Davis. Helen Dewey. Rebecca Debb. May Evans. Robert Evans. Douglas Fraser. Roger Garrick. Simon Goodenough. Sally Hobbs. Dorinda Hollick. Keith Howells. Louise Howells. Elizabeth Humber. Jolyon Huxtable. Edward Johns. Melissa Jones. Michelle Clust. Sharon Lees. Ian Longbottom. Natalie Maggs. Matthew Marley. Catherine Markey. Rachel Matthews. Stuart Maurice. Sandy McLeish. Nerys Monaghan. Sarah Morgan. Louise Morris. Sandeep Newton. Judith Parry. Wendy Parry. Andrew Pennington. Michelle Ponte. Sharon Potts. Hayley Price. Amanda Pye. Alwena Rayner. Valeria Reardon. Michael Rees. Faye Roberts. Liz Roberts. Penny Shepherd. Stella Simmons. Donna Smith. Julie Stevens. Simon Sumner. Swambo. Jodie Michelle Swambo. Jeffrey Todd. Amy Wall. Samantha Williams. Catherine Yanez. Ar gyfer gradd baglor yn y celfyddydau, Bachelor of Arts, Richard Lewis. Rachel Payne. Sandra Safe. Irene Surgison. Nigel Thomas. Sharon Williams. Karen Willicott. Ar gyfer gradd baglor mewn peirianneg gydag anrhydedd dosbarth cyntaf, Bachelor of Engineering, First Class Honours, Robert Jenkins. Liam Poole. Ar gyfer gradd baglor mewn peirianneg gydag anrhydedd, Bachelor of Engineering with Honours, Mark Atwood. Matthew Groves. Neil Owen. Lee Powell. Leighton Prince. David Rees. Andrew Smith. Jason Thomas. Oh, wow. Two of you. Ar gyfer gradd baglor yn y gyfraith gydag anrhydedd dosbarth cyntaf, Bachelor of Laws with First Class Honours, Emily Harding. Same one. Catherine Richards. Ar gyfer gradd baglor yn y gyfraith gydag anrhydedd, Bachelor of Laws with Honours, Philip Huckle. Laura Jawad. Lorna Goodenough. Joanne Meek. Isaac Oloyede. Chimanlal Pute. Ali Saif. Ar gyfer gradd baglor yn y gwyddorau gyda ganrhydedd y dosbarth cyntaf, BSc with First Class Honours, Sue Barker. Dawn Kavanagh. Stephen Clayton. Melanie Cox. Edward Dole. Philip Diggle. Donna Dubok. Pauline Ewing. Monica G. Douglas Harrett. Jacqueline Joyce. Thomas Kelly. Charlotte McCormack. Karen Milne. Hayley Newell. Tuisku Sarala. Vicky Sleep. Gareth Talbot. Jennifer Walker. Shirley Widdop. Ar gyfer gradd baglor yn y gwyddorau gyda ganrhydedd BSc with Honours, Leanne Armstrong. Anne Asderakis. Philip Bate. David Baxter. Anuska Beckman. Rosemary Boston. Chris Bowden. Rachel Brent. Paul Buck. Rebecca Buckley. Lara Cardosi. Catherine Cockle. Emma Card. When did you start? Emma Cunningham. Helen Davis. Sarah Davis. Robert Davis Burks. David Evans. Nadine Ford. Stephen Giddings. Angela Goldsmith. Judith Grattan. Kate Hanley. Sue Harmon. Stefan Hopkin Kitchener. Deborah Hughes. Amy Jones. Sarah Kadiri. Nicholas Lewis. Andrew Martin. Michelle Owen. Esther Page. Susan Parry. Anne Pierce. Ian Percy. Dave Powell. David Price. Stephen Ridout. Sally Rowan. Andrew Scott. Melanie Shanahan. Philippa Skipper. Robert Stockwell. Stuart Swarbrick. Paul Taylor. Rachel Taylor. Melanie Turner. Susan Valerie Watkins. Andrea Weaver. Lucy Weavin. Richard Williams. Anne-Louise Williamson. Sophie Wilmot. Jade Worley. Susan Wilde. Ar gyfer gradd baglor yn y gwyddorau gydag anrhydedd, gwyddorau naturiol, Gwyddorau Ffisegol BSc Honours Natural Sciences and Physical Sciences, a dual award, Michael Kellan. Ar gyfer gradd Baglor yn y Gwyddorau, Bachelor of Science, Raymond Atkins. Martin Cullen. Wendy Flowers. Rachel Jenkins. Joe Jones. Victoria Knight. Roy Rees-Williams. Matthew Ryder. Julie Stagg. Dawn Walters. Ar gyfer gradd sylfaen for a foundation degree, I present Paul Godsell. Sheila Hastings. Chris Hedges. Elizabeth Barrett. Megan Martin. Alison McSorley. Rebecca Morgan. Paul Fred Rogers. Amanda Siege. Catherine Southard. Andrew Williams. Stephen Woolard. Ar gyfer diploma mewn addysg uwch, Diploma of Higher Education, Emma Bluden. Angela Fletcher. Gwyn Phillips. Lynn Williams. Ar gyfer tyst ysgrif proffesiynol ôl-radd mewn addysg, Professional Graduate Certificate in Education, the PGCE, Nigel Cousins. Well done. Amy Evans.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. Thank you so much for coming along today. Graduates, guests, staff and everyone, this is an extraordinary day. And as you were walking across the stage there, I did ask various people, how long have they been studying, how long did it take, what are you going to do, are you teaching, what are you doing? Some fantastic stories amongst you. You can all be so proud of yourselves, whether your journey's been short or whether it's been a long one, and all your families are here to celebrate it with you. It's a tremendous achievement, and I feel very privileged to have been able to shake your hand today. I'd also like to say a big thank you to all our staff who are here today with us for the very careful planning and organisation which goes into making this day a special one. And this is also particularly special for me, as this is the first time that I've presided at a degree ceremony here in Wales, where the university has long established and thriving relationships with communities, organisations and businesses right across the nation. You may have just about noticed that my accent is not a Welsh one. In the context of a bilingual event of this kind and how enriching it is for all of us to be part of that, I'll be contributing in Australia. So I could start off with, "G'day, mate." And by the way, just I haven't finished. The director of the OU in Wales advised me strongly not to mention the very long run of Australian rugby victories against Wales in recent years, so I'm happy not to do so. But of course, the warmth of the welcome here is all that I expected, and that just makes the day that extra bit special for me too. And for me, this day is special, mainly because I've been able to welcome and congratulate each of you personally, hear the applause of your well-wishers, and try to calm some of your nervousness as you cross the stage. I love your grins. I often comment on your smiles, the shy smiles, and even the hand grips that my hand does ache after these events. I too hoped that your gown and your shoes wouldn't trip you up, and that you would just be right, and it would take the moment with dignity and pride, hopefully remembering that very short little bit of stage as you went back to your seat. The ceremony gives us all an opportunity to acknowledge your success, and it gives you the chance to reflect on what it means for you. It's an opportunity for us all to be mindful. The ceremony passes all too quickly, given the years of persistence and sheer willpower to keep going as your lives, personal, work, study and social, engulf you all at the same time. Can you remember your last submission of a TMA and how that felt? So for graduates, sit back and consider your success, what it means to you and those around you. For those who have helped you in this journey, be reminded of the roles that you have each played and the impact of this achievement will make on the closest to you, for future offerings and more broadly, the global world that we live in. But it's not just your achievement, it's ours too, the universities. The advisor in registrations who handled your first hesitant telephone or email inquiry, the academics who designed and wrote your course, the student services staff who supported you when it felt like you probably couldn't go on. And of course, we can't forget our associate lecturers, the men and women who guided you through the whole Open University learning experience from the moment you opened your materials to the moment you crossed the stage today. Every one of us at the Open University has a little stake in what you've accomplished. Believe me, every one of us is bursting with pride when we see you celebrating today. So let's take a moment to say thank you to the Open University staff who've made this all possible. Of course, they're not the only ones that have helped you reach your goal. It's not easy being an Open University student, and I know that many of you completed your studies while holding down full-time, demanding, challenging jobs, looking after your families, and overcoming tremendous obstacles along the way. I also know there's only one thing harder than being an OU student, and that's probably living with an OU student. So we should also pay tribute to your family and friends. We should pay tribute to them for supporting you when you were getting going, for standing by you when things were getting tough, and celebrating with you now in your moment of glory. So this is a time for you graduates to acknowledge the support you have received from your family and friends who are here with us today. So turn around and give them a huge round of applause, please. You are now very proud possessors of an Open University qualification. I'm sure that your long journey to today's celebration will have been demanding, and you will have had to plan carefully and manage your time. You will have needed considerable self-discipline, persistence, and commitment to complete your award. These personal qualities will always be with you, and maybe you've developed a few more. Perhaps you've learned about yourself in ways that those around you may not outwardly recognise, but you will know what these are. You have developed skills that will enable you to contribute in multiple ways to the world that we live in. Your creative and critical thinking skills, your ability to craft arguments, analyse ideas, and knowledge in a range of discipline areas bringing relevance to your work, personal and social lives. Your self-motivation, newfound communication skills, your ability to reflect, and new professional behaviours relevant to multiple contexts. You also represent everything that our modern world needs today, in that you've demonstrated your ability to contribute these skills through your workplaces, communities, local and international organisations, and of course with your families. You are the kinds of people that every society needs. I hope that your journey won't stop here and you'll be coming back for more. In fact, a few of you said you might be or already are, so thank you. Today is the start of your journey. The Open University is very special. There is nothing really quite like it anywhere. Even though it has spawned a few children across the globe, you can be very proud. We are innovative on so many levels. With advances in technology, you've been able to use the new OU Anywhere app, which recently won 2 Guardian Awards. As a university, we launched FutureLearn along with 29 partners, including Cardiff University. We have more than 500,000 informal learners registered on a variety of free courses. I know many of you here have also been dipping into them, so your journey does not need to continue formally with us. It can be informal as well. Our learning and teaching is considered to be of the highest quality, and in the National Student Survey you consistently rate us in the top 5 UK universities for the student experience, and top in Wales for the past 9 years. Thank you for your support. Our research ranks highly, and we have much to be proud of as we go into the next round of the research ratings. We are unique as an institution in many ways. One unique feature is that we serve all 4 nations of the UK. Some graduates here today may have studied our module on Welsh history, small country, big history, but this wasn't studied only by students resident in Wales. It was taken up by many elsewhere in the UK and students across the world. We are proud to take the study of Wales to the wider world, at the same time as bringing global perspectives from the arts top, the sciences, to our students in Wales. Later this year, we will be deploying our global leadership in open educational resources in support of the Welsh language and in partnership with the Coleg Cymru. I'm so sorry. Well, I did say it might be trilingual. I'll try that again. Coleg Cymru, with the launch of our Open Learn Cymru website. This will make Welsh medium study materials available free to those who wish to use them, wherever they may live in the world. You can be proud, really proud, and extra proud of your university. And as graduates, you are now members of a very distinctive club. We are proud to have you as alumni of the Open University. Please remember that you are a graduate of a university that believes in making a difference, and I now challenge you to make a significant difference in the lives of the people you will meet and work with along the way, just as many here today have made a difference in our lives. This university, like all universities, relies for its reputation on the quality of its graduates and the contribution that they make. You now are our ambassadors. You are our most powerful advocates. Yours are the voices we will depend on as we and the next generation of Open University students adjust to the changing times ahead. We are determined that the OU will remain true to its mission. It will remain open to people regardless of their background or personal situation. We are about keeping hopes and dreams alive. To help us do this more than ever before, we need the support of our alumni and friends. Now, may I now ask for one very last time for all of our graduates to stand and for everyone here to join me in giving you the biggest round of applause that you've had today. Thank you, graduates. The proceedings of this degree ceremony have been completed, and I now declare this meeting of congregation closed. Would all of those who are able to stand for the playing of the national anthem please do so.
Amen.